Hi, I'm Miriam Kresh. I'm a herbalist, and I found that it's very possible to get rid of the annoyance of insect bites. It's not going to repel the insects, it's not going to make the bite go away. But instead of driving you insane for hours after you've been stung by an ant, we have fire ants where I live, or mosquitoes for sure, spiders even, as long as they're not really bad spiders, just your common stinging insects. This really, really helps, and you can make it by yourself at home. From herbs, and I'll say which herbs, and good quality oil. I prefer olive oil, avocado oil, any good quality cold pressed oil, and wax. So the herbs that I use are mainly plantain, not the banana, but the green leaf that grows in spring. All these herbs, if they're not available at your time of year, if they're out of season, you should be able to find them dried in the health food store. Okay, so there's plantain, there's chickweed, there's marigold, there's chamomile. Those are the four main ones that I use. But the truth is, if I see something else that I know has anti-inflammatory properties, let's say mulberry tree leaf also has mild and anti-inflammatory properties. The main one, though, really is plantain, because plantain and chickweed both draw matter out of the tissues. So, for example, it's really good if you have like a little infected something, a pimple or something. You just smear it on like that, and cover it, to help draw out the matter from the tissues. And after a while, you're going to see it's clean. But if we're talking about dealing with obnoxious insect stings, this is really the thing, and I'll show you.
And when you make it, do you use the leaves dried?
I dry the leaf. Yeah, I dry the leaves because if they're very, very fresh, they contain moisture, they have water, and it will spoil. You make a water bath. You put your herbs and cover them with the oil of your choice. Put them in a water bath to at least cover the content inside the jar. Glass jar, not this little plastic thing that I'm using for storage. And just let it go for an hour. Watch the level of the water so it shouldn't burn, and put your glass jar on top of a towel when you take it out so it shouldn't crack. And just leave it alone for a day or two. It'll keep infusing as time goes on, and then you take, let's say for a small quantity, let's say half a cup of this infused oil, 2 or 3 tablespoons of beeswax in any shape or form. Before, I used to be able to buy beeswax pellets. I'd simply melt down a good candle, take the wick out, and use that. So you have your warm melted beeswax, and stir in your infused oil. Of course, you want to strain your oil. Need to go backwards a little bit. You've infused your oil, you've let it cool down, it's good and strong because of the plantain. This is green. And then you strain it, and reheat it a little bit. It should be a little warm, and stir it into your warm wax, also in a water bath situation. It doesn't need to be a big elaborate thing. I just take a frying pan and put some water in it, and put my glass jar in that. I just have to make sure that it doesn't get too hot. There's no great mystique, really. And then once you have, this is rather liquid, you can also add a little more beeswax and see if you prefer slightly more solid consistency. That would be fine too. And then just keep it covered. Keep it in the refrigerator if you can. It's also very soothing, by the way, when you have like a nasty mosquito bite, or 2 or 5 along your arm, to put this cold salve on the bite and just rub it in.
What about sunburn?
Sunburn, I have not used it for, honestly. I wouldn't recommend it because I don't know, simply.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah? This is what I know what to do with these herbs. Now, you can also use a single herb, like plantain, like marigold, like chamomile. I prefer a mix of anti-inflammatory herbs. And it's just it's so simple. It's like 10 minutes of work. The most work is getting a hold of the herbs. And if you can't grow them or forage them wild for one reason or another, most good quality or health food stores have them or send away for them. And that's it.